Okay, when bush poets meet at places, well, not quite like this, but at things like Boyart Brook and 2J, we have what we call a poet's brawl. And in this poet's brawl, you draw a line, a phrase out of a hat, you put $5 in another hat, and you've got about a day or two to write a poem. And then you front up and you sprout your poem. And it's one of the few times that you are actually allowed to read. Well, anyway, some of you may or may not know that recently I had a bit of a trip in those fancy sort of white and green vehicles with St John written on them. Yeah, you know the ones? Yeah, anyway, somewhere in the days that followed that, I had this dream, and I dreamt that I'd entered a poet's brawl. And I'd drawn the line, "You won't be there on Oz Day." Well, always open to a bit of a challenge. Of course I said, well, I'll enter this competition. And I look around now and I can't find any other entrants. So, tough. So I wrote me lines for this competition that I seem to be the only entrant for. And you remember my line was, "You won't be there on Oz Day." Australia Day 2016, I was all set to go and strap me stuff with other poets at the annual Oz Day show. All was planned up in me head. I'd practice poems I knew. I'd entertain the audience with what I'd say and do. 2 weeks ago, it was time to think of poems I should rehearse and tidy up my diction and time each likely verse. I hadn't got past vague ideas when on that fateful day, some bloody gremlin in me gut shot half me chest away. Well, that was metaphoric, was some vital part was crook. But which one of me zillion bits? A bloody week it took. They had to stabilise me this and regulate me that before they cut and scrubbed and sewed. Meanwhile, where am I at? No poems that I practised, and running through me brain, some little voice kept singing, out of tune, this sad refrain. "You won't be there on Oz Day." I heard that voice declare, "There's no way you'll be out of here. Don't bother to prepare." Meanwhile, there's doctors everywhere, all around me bed, surgeons, nurses, physios, but a couple of them said, "We'll try and have you home in time to get to Wireless Hill. You really shouldn't ought to go, you have been somewhat ill." And so it was, still racked with pain, me countenance quite drear. They sent me home last Friday night to get myself in gear. Me good wife Dot, over here, the show's MC, had not give up me spot, so here I am, determined to give it all I got. "You won't be there on Oz Day," echoes faintly through me head. I laugh with scorn at such remarks, those doubting voices said, "For it's a fact you can't ignore. There is no earthly way that you can shut a poet up when he's got words to say." Okay, where did I put them? I see quite a few people have got the appropriate dress for Australia Day. I'll get rid of this hat. Put that one on. I was going to wear the rest of the gear.
There you go.
Anyway, I decided not to wear them. No, the G-string didn't go. But anyway, so I thought, what am I going to do? So I thought about it and I thought, well, what about our national anthem? We've all sung it, most of it. Who knew all the words? Put your hand up to both verses. Oh, okay. You just about take a bow. Okay, very few people, of course, know all the words. And when we say the words, some of them don't really apply. Back to 1974, when we chose that national anthem, they got it wrong from the start because it then said, "Australia's sons, let us rejoice." They forgot about her daughters. Anyway, time went on and they got that right. So they then said, "Australians all, let us rejoice, for we are young What? What? For we are young. For some of us are young and free. I'm married. Yeah, and then it goes on about we've wealth for soil or something. No, we've golden soil and wealth for toil. We used to have golden soil. We give it all to the Chinese, I think. So anyway, I've decided to rewrite the national anthem. And you don't know my words, so you can have a go at singing. You all want to sing along with me? You've only got to sing the first verse. So what I'll do, I'll tell you the line and you sing. You know the tune. The lines start off, I'm proud to be Australian. So we'll start off with that. Okay, I'm proud to be Australian. I'm proud to be Australian. I wear the Aussie gear. I wear the Aussie gear. I wear it on Australia Day.
I wear it on Australia Day.
And sometimes through the year.
And sometimes through the year.
The cap, the vest, the rubber thongs.
The cap, the vest, the rubber thongs.
And shorts that show me knees.
And shorts that show my knees.
There's just one little problem. There's just one little problem. They're all made overseas. They're all made overseas. There's just one little problem. They're all made overseas. As if that isn't bad enough, they also make the toys, those cuddly Aussie animals we give to girls and boys. There's Chinese platypuses, koalas from Taiwan, kangaroos from Bangladesh, and wombats from Ceylon. And what about the souvenirs? The ones the tourist buys. Reminders of Australia, the sun, the beach, the flies. The tea towel spoons and postcards that show the harbour bridge. Oh, you'd think that they'd be made right here, that they'd be rigid edge. But no, just like my clothing, most other Aussie gear is made in places overseas. It should be made right here. They should be true blue dinkum stuff. There ought to be some laws that says our Aussie icons must be made here on our shores. Thank you. Oh, she says another one. Okay, it's summertime. Time when children come visiting grandparents. Time when grandparents take kids fishing. I took the grandkid fishing, just like I did last year. We walked out to the riverbank. I carried all the gear. We sat down on our fold-up chairs. The water looked just fine. She said that she'd forgotten how, so I rigged up her line. And as I started on my own, I got that helpless look. As she said, Granddad, if you've time, can you please bait my hook? So I put a worm upon her hook and showed her how it's done. She said, oh, for girls, that sort of thing, it's really not much fun. I'd really love you, Granddad, if each and every time you'd put the worm onto my hook, because I don't like the flying. And if you really wouldn't mind, can you please cast it out? You'll get much further out than me. Of that I have no doubt. So I cast a line into the deep and handed her the rod. As she sat down, she said she might just like to catch a cod. No cod in rivers hereabouts. To her I did explain, if that is what you hope to catch, your hopes will be in vain. A bream is all you'll likely catch that's big enough to cook, I said as I returned to tie my line on a hook. Whew, I've got a bite, she shouted out as she wound in her reel. I think I've got a fish on now, I think that's what I feel. In came the line, with hook quite bare, at which she seemed surprised. It was the sinker that you felt, I told her I'd surmised. So I threaded on another worm and cast her line out deep. She said that she would like to catch a fish that she could keep. Oh, like this, she said. I've got one on. Whatever can it be? I can't wind in this fish at all. It's much too strong for me. I took her rod and felt the strain. She really had a fish. I wound him in. A lovely bream. Each fish a person's wish. Well, take it off the hook, I said when it was safe ashore. Oh, you do it, Grandad, please, she said. I want to catch some more. And so the afternoon went by, the time sped by so fast. I reeled in her bigger fish, I baited and I cast. I took her fish from off the hook. I used a moistened rag and put the undersized ones back, the big ones in the bag. I somehow never found the time to rig my line at all. I seemed to be forever at the grandkids' beck and call. But I suppose that is the role that granddads ought to play in summer, once a year, when the family come to stay. And then it was time to head back home. I packed up gear and line. She walked beside me as we went, her little hand in mine. How was the fishing? Asked her mum. She answered, oh, lot of fun. I've got 4 bream. They're in the bag. But Grandad, he got... You all know the poem, don't you? Thank you.